We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the rope drop queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She is a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And first off, this show is coming out on Christmas Eve. So maybe before. I might release it early, but if anything, that's true. If you are traveling right now, if you're driving to your in-laws, just so you know, Doug and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Yes, absolutely. The merriest.
The merriest. So thank you so much for listening to our show over the holiday weekend. We have a really good one for you today. It is Doug's trip report, and it is full of ups and downs. So welcome back, Doug. You were literally on the flight a few hours ago, and so thank you for making time to do the show.
I flew in today. My arms are tired.
Wow. That dad joke has not gotten old in the last 100 years. But before we begin, we got to thank two of our Patreons long time, Jenny and Brad Comer. Thank you so much for being a part of the Rope Drop Radio community, getting the bonus episodes, all the stuff. We're going to be talking Spider-Man Homecoming. Doug's kids are going to be coming on a show. We got a lot of fun things. And so thank you to all of our Patreons for the whole last year of supporting Rope Drop Radio.
That's right. Thank you very much, patrons. And it wouldn't be an episode without us begging for reviews and getting one.
We got a review. One. Okay, because last week we threw a Hail Mary out.
Uh-huh.
We got one.
So we get to finish the year off strong.
No, we have one more episode we got to record. Nope.
Yeah, but that one doesn't get it doesn't get a review.
Okay.
Because the whole show is a review.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this right now, please leave us a review so we can start 2020 strong. 2022. Wow. Yeah, that was bad.
2020 also?
Yep.
2022. Anyway. All right, here it is. A Great Treat by It's Sean 98 or It's Sheen 98. I think it's Sean.
Charlie Sheen left us her review. Got it.
All right. I discovered this podcast after having a case of post-trip blues, and Derek and Doug were just what I needed. The show is fun, informative, and makes me feel like a part of their conversation. Whether it's sitting at my desk or listening before I go to bed, this is a great podcast for anyone who loves the Disney parks. Keep up the awesome work, and know that you guys bring so much happiness to my day.
Oh, I love it.
That's a great one.
That is a good one.
That's a...
But he listens to us before bed. Are we helping him put to sleep, I guess?
I mean, we do have that effect on some people, I'm sure. But, hey, it's a download, Derek.
Also, do not fall asleep while driving since it is the holiday weekend.
Yeah, stay awake while you're driving and watch for deer.
There we go. All right, Doug, you just got back from a few days at Walt Disney World. Your whole family went with Michelle, the kids. It sounded wonderful. I love following you around on social media. But my favorite part was the joy you had of flying Frontier, trying to get down there, Doug. I'm laughing while trying to say this. So walk us through the trip, the flight.
So, there's budget airlines out there, right? And sometimes it looks really, really good on paper.
Those dollar signs, yep.
And Thursday night, we weren't supposed to fly out till 8:30-ish anyway, which was really weird. I got home from work and, slowly got ready to go. And then, our flight's delayed by 20 minutes. Flight's delayed by 30 more. 2 hours now. So it had us taking off at 10:30 at night at that point. And we're like, so we're going to get to Orlando at 3 a.m. All right. We've
Good
done
luck.
worse.
Yep.
That's why we have an Epcot. It was already going to be 1:30 in the morning was my estimate as to when we would get it Eastern. And we come from the Central Time Zone. So, it's not that bad. But we made Epcot Park Pass, knowing that helps a little bit. You don't have to get there till 10:30 for an 11
late fireworks show anyway, so you're good.
So and we were staying at Art of Animation, Skyliner over. We can sleep in a little. And then as I'm telling Alden to put the luggage in the car, finally, like, we're going to go. We're actually going to believe it's going to stop getting delayed. We're going to go. We'd been watching the flight tracker for the flight coming in from Fort Lauderdale, I believe, or Fort Myers. Fort Myers. It looked like it got off the ground. So we're like, all right, let's go. And then literally TripIt sends a notification that says flight canceled.
Oh.
And then I check, and Fort Myers never got off the ground. So mechanical issue canceled the plane from getting to Omaha, and therefore canceled us. And Frontier didn't fly to Orlando for like 3 more days. So it's a script.
What do you do?
Well, after you say all the 4-letter words you can think of.
Every single one of them. I'm sure your kids did the same. There you
times. Well, then, like, we made Alden go to basketball practice and stuff like that. So, and Claire was just a hair too late for dance by the time we found out. Michelle got on there, found a Southwest flight for 7 a.m. or so the next morning. Went through Midway, not a direct. That's one nice thing about Frontier is it is a direct.
It is.
It is appealing.
Yep,
it's
great.
cheap.
It looks on paper. It's phenomenal.
But
I've done it twice, 3 times. Yep, so, I get it.
Yeah, canceled. So we ended up flying the next morning with Southwest. I mean, we didn't get, and then we were delayed getting out of Chicago because Chicago's gonna Chicago.
That is a hashtag. Chicago's gonna Chicago.
Right?
Yep.
And so we didn't get to our rental car until I think we got out of the parking garage at about 2:30 with the rental car.
So a little late to Epcot.
We lost some time, right? So we ate a late lunch at Landscape of Flavors, talked to them. They put us in a room. And they didn't charge us for the first night. Michelle had called that night and was on hold for a while. I checked with the rental car, and they're like, well, you get 12 hours, a 12-hour window. I'm like, well, I was supposed to pick the car up at 12:30 a.m. Now we're scheduled to get in at 1:30 p.m.
Ooh,
He's like, oh, yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh.
And I was like, no, that's 13 hours. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Carry the 2. Yeah, I think so.
I think so. It's not. So... He said he did a bunch of typing. You know when you can hear him typing over the phone? Just a whole bunch of that went on for like 5 minutes. He's like, all right, you should get a new email and you should be all good. All right, same price, you're good. And I was like, oh, okay. It actually ended up being cheaper when I returned it today, but I don't know what happened. But we got a car. I never got that email he said I was going to get, so I'm going to be honest. We had Express go straight to the car, drive off with it through Alamo, right? I was worried we're going to get to the little gate, and they're going to be like, yeah, you didn't rent a car. This is expired. Get out of here. But it worked. We had our rental car. We zipped on over to Disney World and had a fantastic time after the 12-ish hour delay. According to Alamo.
Only a small delay. 13 hours. There you go.
Yeah,
so
not bad.
You got there. That's end of story.
Right?
You got to where you wanted to go. Don't always trust the budget airlines is the key to the story. But you got there and you were staying at Art of Animation?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we had a Nemo suite, which was very close to the Skyliner. It was nice. It was good. Everybody had kind of their own area. Nobody argued. 2 bathrooms, which is fantastic.
More than what I had in my in-laws' house, so there you go.
Just frightening. For a family of 5 with 2 teens and a tween, it's nice to have some space. Not gonna lie.
Absolutely, I agree.
Art of Animation's still fantastic. It's a great resort, great location. We enjoyed it. We definitely did. Alden ran every day. It's one of the better resorts for running.
I will give you that. I agree.
Yep. You run around the lake and
good path, kind of good visibility.
And he'd come back with stories about what people were doing. So there's people watching as you get to run. He did not see any snakes this time.
Okay.
during spring break, he saw a snake, so he's always leery of snakes. But yeah, there you go. Art of Animation, Nemo. We were in a handicap accessible room, so the layout was funky, but didn't bother us too much.
And you made lightning lanes that morning at the airport?
We did. Right after we went through TSA. No, right before we went through TSA, we actually stopped. Made our lightning lanes for Epcot. Made a boarding group for Ratatouille, for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and then we made a lightning lane for Test Track that started at 4:30. So we got there in the nick of time. I think later in the day we had made a lightning lane for Soarin' as well. So we basically went into the park and lightning lane. It was, and then Remy'd, and then we had some crepes.
Ooh, and this is the first time the kids have had the crepes?
Yes.
Which I have not had yet. Not that I didn't want to have them. It's just lines and people.
So the crepes, now you make a reservation, right? When you were there wasn't a reservation yet. So we had a reservation, went in. So we ate like at 2:30, 4 or 3-ish in the afternoon. So we ate a late lunch or early dinner, depending on which way you want to look at it, right? So the kids were confused why they were having dessert for dinner. Like, because we're awesome.
You can theoretically put anything in a crepe, so it didn't have to be dessert. It could be breakfast, lunch, anything.
I pointed out there was ham and cheese in a crepe. I got the chicken and mushroom crepe.
Yeah, that's not a dessert at all. That doesn't sound good at all either, but okay.
It's excellent. It's very creamy. You cannot eat that.
No, the mushrooms had me off, but now the cream.
The creaminess, Derek would know. But they all got Nutella and bananas, and then a side of ice cream. And the Nutella one comes with whipped cream already. And Michelle got the apple dessert one. I got the banana Foster type dessert one, banana and caramel. So we got a sampling of crepes. The kids devoured theirs, no problem. They enjoyed it. They rated it as better than what Epcot used to have, by a significant margin, but not nearly as good as what they had in France. So, which, I mean, are you gonna beat the place a cart randomly in Paris? No, you're not.
Probably not.
It was good. It was good. They enjoyed it. I recommend it.
Okay, I got to get there. That's for sure. So, what else did you guys do at Epcot? I know Alden did some good attractions.
Yeah. So with Test Track, Alden decided he was going to go all in on like efficiency. He picked one category.
Sounds
so
like
while
a
designing
15-year-old. 14. Okay.
Yeah. So when you design your cars, every little move you make, you can see how it affects your overall score. So he went all in on efficiency. He ended up with 98 out of 100 on efficiency, and that scored him second place on the day.
Ooh.
So he was pretty excited about that.
It's first or nothing, bud.
Well, first loser. But he had fun. For some reason, they didn't fill the two stations behind us, even though the line was out the door. We went lightning lane, but I don't understand why they weren't filling all the design stations. So we used 4 different stations.
Nice. So that's a win, actually. I've never had that.
Right? Everybody designed a car except Michelle. And I made the
looking for more
car.
lightning lanes. Got it.
Pretty much. Yep. It's like a full-time job. So, yeah. We had other lightning lanes where you're just like, we're good. But it was good. We did, Epcot, then Soarin', then Ratatouille, then Crepes, and then...
And your kids had been there. We talked about this on a show, if you're a first-time listener, a couple weeks ago, where Doug took his kids and they did a lot of things at Epcot.
We did a lot of Epcot.
Yes. So this is kind of a different, And so here we are kind of running through this a little bit. But I do want to talk about Harmonious, Doug.
Yes. They hadn't seen that yet.
Which I've seen 3 times already.
Right. And you loved it.
I love it.
Loved it.
I want to hear your kids, all 3 of them, the reviews.
I think it's lacking story and continuity, and why is it called Harmonious if they're not going to talk about the world being
That third
harmonious,
part is the only thing I
right?
agree with that. Okay.
I can't get over the storyline of a company that likes to talk about how everything tells a story, even like the paint color on the side of a ship,
Okay.
right?
You're right.
Then where's the actual story in a
So
show?
your daughter
But
Samantha,
they
who
hadn't
reads like
heard this opinion.
1,000 books a day, she's a story person. Where does she rank it? I want to hear all your kids.
None of them were impressed.
Ah, I don't like any of them anymore.
Claire, to quote Claire, when the one thing starts, the arms really start going and spraying the water mist. She said it looked like an octopus peeing.
Wow.
That's 12-year-old girl there, unimpressed. Um, yeah, there's just
None of them liked it. Okay.
they liked the songs in the other languages. They thought that was kind of good. Um, but they didn't understand why Lion King was in it. And then like
African Outpost makes sense.
yeah, but they doubled down on that. It was like they didn't do one of them. I can't remember who all said what afterwards, but I mean, we had the Skyliner ride home to digest and get their take. One of them was like, why wasn't there a segment of the show devoted to each country specifically? And it's like, yes, it's a great question. I mean, they go to Disney a lot and they look at it a little bit differently. Did they think the fireworks were entertaining? Yes. Why did they pick the same music as something that we'd see at the Magic Kingdom, other than they did it in a different language? Was one of their big questions. Fireworks were way better than Illuminations, 1,000 times better than Epcot Forever. So their thought was, it's better than what we had, but it's not what it should be. They're like tough little critics.
They are. Wow.
I mean,
I was easily amused. I'm clapping for fireworks and water and things.
Derek's just like,
yay!
And they're sitting there breaking down like, what's the symbolism of this storyline?
It's better than Illuminations. That was Derek in a nutshell.
The pyro's way better than Illumination.
Better.
But the story isn't.
Yeah, we will.
And
that's a whole another topic. In fact, we should bring your kids on for that one sometime.
How many times have we heard Joe Rohde talk about how the story is what matters? And then there's
not even Imagineer anymore. No, he's gone. It's his time is done. They don't care.
Yeah. They don't. They do.
We could talk about this for another 20 minutes, show. But we need to get on to the rest of your trip. So Magic Kingdom the next day, and it's early access.
No, not yet.
Not yet. One day. Okay.
Very last 30-minute early morning extra magic, not extra magic hours. So over the holidays, Disney announced with 2 days notice that they're going to open an hour early instead of half hour early for on-site guests.
How lucky are you guys to know that?
Well, they barely told people. So.
For you guys, it's a win. I know we're going to get there, but I was just like, are you kidding me? Doug's okay, whatever.
So we get to
I'm not jealous at all.
No, we get to Magic Kingdom. We have the half hour. They did Space. I did Buzz. And then
congrats.
Moved on.
You won again.
Day. Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of getting a perfect score on Buzz? Asking for everyone else.
I didn't one time through.
Okay.
But that was with the whole family. It's a lot harder when everybody's shooting at the right. That's true. Bits.
Yes.
It's very easy when you're surrounded by people that have no idea what they're doing.
Oh, that was the easiest perfect score I ever got when I was first one on there. And literally I was like, oh, I know where I'm shooting. It was great.
And no one else.
In like second room.
And you know which little dot scores, so you can adjust. But
also,
when you don't know
which
people asking,
we did do a special episode on that.
Yes, way back, like two years ago. There's search for that Galactic Hero episode. You can learn all the tricks too. But typical rope drop, nothing super crazy. We grabbed a lightning lane for Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is the one that's going to push out the furthest, the fastest.
Amazes me that it does too.
Well, I mean, it just had a movie come out, and when we did redeem our our lightning lane. It was actually lightning-ish. Jungle Cruise, the first couple times we went back in November, we stood in a line to use our lightning lane. And when lightning lane was fast, I was being annoying to the kids because it's fun to annoy your teenage children.
Of
And
course.
and I would say ka-chow every time I tap my thing just to annoy. But when there was a big line and it was going slow and there was annoying people around, I said ka-chiga, like chick kicks.
I got it.
Thank you. I'm glad. So yeah, I annoyed my children. It's not hard to annoy teenagers.
No,
It's
not at
really
all.
not. And it's
Take
not
them
hard
on the
for them to
Lightning
annoy you.
McQueen experience.
I can't do that
Okay.
myself. So I got my own.
Have you never seen that?
Oh, I've seen it.
Okay, good.
Times.
Okay.
I've gone a couple times, but unless I am aiding someone with a small child, I'm probably not going.
So we're not going just you and me on the rope drop trip. Anyway,
Unless it's ironically.
you are on Jungle Cruise. How was the rest of your Magic Kingdom?
It was good. We argued about where to eat lunch because Michelle is boycotting Columbia Harbor House. So we ended up at Pecos Bills. But we did meet Mickey.
Ooh.
So as a family. So that was good. And there was no PhotoPass photographer in there, which was odd. And the cast member wasn't going to use anybody's camera.
That's how
So-
I had it. Yep.
Yep. So we got the person ahead of us, Michelle, was like, hey, well, we were talking to them in line the whole time through. The guy was very friendly. And so we took their picture. They took our picture. We got about 75 pictures.
Not bad.
Yeah. So Michelle felt bad about the 10 that she took. She's like, I took a lot. And then, yeah, they took a lot. So we met Mickey. We did multiple other things. We did purchase Mine Train for that day to make sure we got on it. That just takes so much stress out of the rope drop.
But so
You
much
don't-
money out of your wallet.
I mean, we only bought 4. I didn't go.
That's still
not
less
bad.
money.
Stress,
I love how
Derek.
we've gotten to the point where it's money
I mean,
with lightning lanes.
so the individual Lightning Lane attractions, Mine Train, like, you don't have to battle to be at the front of that crowd, which is pretty glorious. It allows you to get on Space, get on Buzz, get on Tomorrowland Speedway, then get over to Thunder Splash. Where if you're doing Mine Train later, you just come back to it and it's all good. And yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. So after that, we went back, had a rest. Except Alden, he went and ran because he's a crazy person. That was our day at the Magic Kingdom.
And you went over to Animal Kingdom that evening?
We did. We spent the evening at Animal Kingdom.
Love Animal Kingdom in the evening. It's great. It's one of my favorite places to be.
We also that morning purchased Flight of Passage, which that one was worth every penny. Because
How much was that one?
I have no idea, Derek.
Okay,
I don't
good
do it.
call.
The best way to do individual Lightning Lane attractions is to not know how much they are.
Well played. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a podcasting quote right there.
Just don't tell if you have a spouse that will care, just don't tell them. Just take care of it all. Because without it, we would have spent like an hour and a half in line. And, wanted relaxing, hit some things, move on, hit some more things. So we did do Flight of Passage. We had a Lightning Lane for Safari, which was more a Kachiga, but when you compare it to the standby, it was lightning. The kids did Everest while I sat and waited for Kite Tails.
And that video you posted was one of the greatest videos I have seen. It makes me jealous that I've not seen Kite Tails yet.
For the record, the cast member that got leveled by Mufasa.
Not just leveled, by the way, Doug, just taken out. Like,
He like
just
bounced.
I
off of
I
it.
am
It
amazed. The fact that this is still in operation.
Where is
Like,
Osha?
that guy is in pain. Like, he needed ice. You know, in Hawkeye, where he had to ice everything?
Yeah,
That
with
was that cast member
this-
after he got nailed by Simba.
I can't believe they're
The
not.
fact that you got that video shot makes me also wonder how many more times this happens in a day.
Oh, right?
Yep.
And like, I don't know why they're not wearing helmets if that's a thing. Also, I don't have it on the video, but he did get up.
Good. He's
did
not
get up.
dead. I didn't get that
he-
part. Got
He
it.
get up. So But I sat there because I didn't go on Everest, and I was like, well, I don't really need to save you a seat because we're gonna sit on what they call the backside of the show, because there's the over by Nemo theater area, and then there's by Everest,
It
and
didn't
they'll
look
come
that
in.
full anyway, so
No, you can walk in and get a seat 2 minutes before. Do not worry. You do not need to devote time to waiting for this show. Um, but they announced like, oh, this is the backside of the show, and in my head, I want to say, the jet skis drive in a circle. There is no backside. There's some people that walk with little handheld kites on the other side, and if that's what you're calling the front, our definition of the front of a show has really, really diminished at Disney World.
which
They
would
drive in
not
a circle.
surprise me at all, Doug.
Alden, I think, mainly watched the jet skis get air off of the waves. He's like, it got choppy. Sometimes they're like in the air and trying to turn, and it wouldn't turn, and then
And yet, everyone still lives.
it's amazing. It's an ocean nightmare, yet they still are operating. I don't understand. Um, let's see. None of them ever want to do it again.
Okay, good. Check.
It was perfect weather. It was like 71. The sun had just gone down, a little bit of a sunset in the background. So it wasn't hot, it wasn't miserable.
I'm going to be really sad if this is gone by the time I get back in a few weeks.
Well, and then like they come on, they say it's starting, and there's music that starts playing, it crescendos, and then they talk some more. There's more talking leading up to this show, more story development than there is in Harmonious, Derek. And it doesn't need it. It's just kites going in a circle. We know the story of the Lion King. Just go in a circle with it. But for 3 minutes from the start of the show, before you see a kite take off. Yes, I timed it.
Good.
I don't understand what they're doing. So later that night, we saw the Tree of Life light show where they do the projection mapping on it. And if you haven't seen that projection mapping, it's only a few minutes. It happens a lot.
Yep.
It doesn't, not a big deal, but you have to see it because the dimension at which they make the image, I mean, it looks like there's a hole through the tree.
Yep.
And
Love
other
it.
trees, it's phenomenal. Samantha's standing next to me and she goes, so the same company that's doing this thought Kite Tails was good enough to put out there?
The B team. The B team did it, Doug.
I don't. B team. I mean, was it
C
the
team?
JV tryouts?
I guess.
Like, who
Here's the thing.
I don't get
After
it.
all the people on Twitter, you posting things, I'm also thinking that this is genius because it's getting people to continually talk. We've talked about Kite Tails now for like 9 minutes of the show, Doug. So people are like, I need to go there just to check this
Just to see how
craziness
bad
out.
it
I
is.
know. So in a weird way, it could be the most genius thing Disney ever did.
And you know what? Every 5-year-old thinks it's great.
That's true.
So-
My kids, I'm bummed we had to fly out, or else if we didn't have the MCO issue, we would have been able to see it. But MCO is a nightmare. We'll get to that with you in a minute. But yeah,
So yeah, none of them.
none of the kids loved it.
No.
Check off the list though.
Because we're like, oh, guys, we haven't seen the Jungle Book one, and they're like, we're okay. We know we've seen the movie.
No.
I can imagine Baloo as a balloon, and that's the thing. They're calling them balloons, not kites, because they are inflated. So it's weird.
No. All right. Well,
Move
that
me on.
was Animal Kingdom in a nutshell. You did.
Oh, we
leave-
ate at Sully Canteen, so
Hey, there you go. Finish
there
strong.
afterwards.
Love
Finish
it.
strong. Great meal. The kids love it. I love it.
Everyone loves it. It's the
Loved.
best.
Noodles everywhere.
Rice. No potatoes. I always get potatoes.
I like the noodles now.
Okay.
The noodles are my go-to.
I tried noodles once. I'm good. Anyway, we need to talk real quick. You did leave to watch some volleyball action.
Yes.
I watched the game as well. Our team lost second place. Congratulations to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It was a tough one.
Do we have to say congratulations to the Wisconsin Badgers?
No, we didn't have to say that at all, but we did have to give a shout out to our own team and people who support them.
Yeah. It was a good game. Went 5 sets.
It
and
did.
Down to the wire.
It did. Yeah.
Oh, young team. Watch out for the Huskers
There
next
you go.
year,
So
folks.
glad you got that. You were wearing all your Husker gear in the park,
Yes.
so to
Or
support the
Husker gear
team.
that
That's
day.
that's how dedicated you guys are.
Then the next day, I wore my Nebraska basketball t-shirt that literally hit me in the stands last week from the t-shirt cannon. I was watching the big screen and I got hit by a shirt.
I'm so happy.
And it was
For the record,
ugly.
if I could ever be the t-shirt cannon guy, I
Oh, that'd be
would.
fun. I'd
Yep.
aim for people like
Oh,
that. They're,
absolutely.
like that, no one's paying attention there. And it got
The
me.
hot dog guy at the football games, I would have a field day with that job.
Yeah. So my new shirt, right? Never washed it, never wore it. It's
That's weird. Go
yeah,
on.
it was like we just kind of threw it in the bag to go. That's kind of how much time we paid attention to packing. Well, the ink like rubbed off on my arms, and we got stopped on Winnie the Pooh, and Alden noticed that my forearms were like glowing under the black light. It was concerning.
I saw that picture. Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah. So, maybe wash a new shirt that gets shot out of a shirt cannon at a basketball game before
All
you
right.
wear it.
Well, we're just going to skip ahead
Life
to
lessons now.
yes, life lessons. Hollywood Studios is your next day, and this is now the full hour. Am I right, Doug?
Yes, a whole hour. So one of our concerns, because nowhere was it posted the night before, none of the night cast members had a clue at the Skyliner. When is the Skyliner going to open the next day? Are they going to open a half hour earlier? Or does Disney actually communicate with each other?
Nope.
They opened early.
Oh, wow.
Probably the biggest shock of the whole trip. And Disney did such a lousy job of communicating this park hours change. Literally, we walked on the Skyliner and then walked on. There's no line at Caribbean Beach. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts. There was maybe only 100 people at Hollywood Studios rope drop when we got there. Maybe 200 by the time we got to go.
That's insane.
Smallest Hollywood Studios crowd I've seen for a couple years, because we were doing those 5-6 a.m.s over there after Star Wars opened.
Oh, that was great. I was there.
It was great.
Day 3.
So
It was
tiring.
great. Yes.
It's like you're
Did the
at
whole
gate,
park
like, at
before most people
4:30,
came. Yeah, I was there at 4.
right?
I got the whole park done by the time my family caught up
Right.
at 7.
And then there was lines everywhere.
Yes.
But so it was good. The individual lightning lane attractions, I'd say the number one to buy is Rise of the Resistance. And if you're staying on property, you get to do that right at 7. If you're staying off property, I'm sorry, it's going to be gone before you have the chance. That's you staying on property.
Nope, you nailed it.
That's a perk. And the reason I say that, you can have all the intention in the world of rope dropping Rise of the Resistance, and it worked out for you, Derek.
It did.
However, every day of our trip, from the days I was there to the days I was at other parks, just asking people, Rise did not open on time. People got in line, stood there. That morning, it took about an hour and a half before it opened. So if you rope dropped Rise, you had a choice. Well, we've stood here in line. Lines have built everywhere else. Do we stick it out or do we leave? So if you stuck it out, you stuck it out for an hour and a half. Your hour was gone plus a half hour. I mean, is that still a good use of the hour? Maybe.
If you want to ride the ride, yeah.
Without paying for it,
Yep.
right? It's also a ride that you can't bank on jumping in the line at the end of the night, because they will close it.
They
to
will. That has happened many
So
times. Yep.
almost every other ride at Hollywood Studios, just jump in right before the end of the night and boom, you're good. You can't bank on that with Rise. So if you want to avoid a wait, it's either rope drop or buy it. And rope dropping is a 75% chance it's not operating. There's a PSA for you.
That is a
There was
large
lot.
percentage. I got really lucky on the
100%.
day I was there. I will never have that happen again.
I don't know if 75% is 100% accurate. I'm not a touring plan statistician. I'm just going by the fact that everybody, while we were there, nobody was successful at a true rope drop. Like, it was not, you got to the line and it was running go. It was, you got there and it was like, how long is it going to take? And the cast member said, it could be 5 minutes. It could be 5 hours. I love that answer too.
I hate that
the
answer.
food is down. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 5 hours. I'm like, you have a general idea. So anyway, we rope drop Smugglers walked on.
I would hope so.
We were master pirates. Did
Good job,
excellent.
guys.
Holden hit the ground one time and got yelled at.
Okay.
That was about the most eventful
I
thing.
don't
I
trust
shot
him with a
that.
car next year. Got it.
I think I'll get to that story later about cars. But yeah, it was good. And then after that, we went and we grabbed a Slinky Lightning Lane. So we had a Lightning Lane for Slinky and Rise sitting in our back pocket, right? So we did Smugglers, then Rockin', Tower, and then over to Mickey and Minnie's before the first hour was over. So we beat the regular crowd in Mickey and Minnie's in line for about 15 minutes. And then I noticed the line hasn't moved for a while. And here comes the announcement.
You
The
got
ride
dumped.
was down. We got dumped. So then we're like, let's go to Toy Story. So Toy Story had a posted wait time of 30 minutes. Right, almost spot on the 30-minute mark. We're in a vehicle, ready to go, glasses on, stretching my hands. And we never left. And then we had to... The line got dumped behind us. We already had like the lap bar pulled down.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So the power went out for a few minutes to the whole attraction. The lap bar was still down. So then they had to come and like use some weird key and manually release it. And then we got to escape. And then we got a anytime lightning
I was
lane.
going to say, I hope you got something out of that one. To be on the attraction, then dumped.
And it was good for anything but
Rise. Yep.
Rise, Slinky, and Mickey and Minnie's. So the two things we got done from, yeah. We knew we had another evening. We were coming back, so we weren't too worried. Then they did Star Tours. We ate some lunch at Pizza Rizzos, used the Slinky Dog, I think.
You skipped going to Indiana Jones, which was his first day
It
back.
was the first day. So the noon showing for Indiana Jones, right? The line was bonkers.
Oh, I saw it online.
People were just there for that.
Yep.
So they were in line at
I saw
8
people
a.m.
that literally that was the only thing they were doing that day. Disney food blog, touring planes. There's all the people.
They were there from the rope drop,
Yep.
right?
Hashtag I would have been them.
And there's no way we were doing that on a family vacation. So, and
for the record, listeners, I did give Doug a lot of crap.
A lot of crap. And to be honest, I couldn't have talked the other 4 people with me into going to Indiana Jones. We almost kind of went, and then we're like, nah, we'll go stand in a line.
It's been 2 years, something iconic.
600 and some days.
Yeah.
Like 660 some days. Nah, we passed. They did get rid of the Nazi flags, though, Derek.
See things, yeah.
Yeah. So, we ate at Pizza Rizzos for one small portion of it. We were the only people in the ballroom. The downstairs was packed where people were going outside to eat, yet we were alone in the ballroom. And so we embarrassed our kids by dancing, as one does.
Yeah,
when they have
makes
teenagers.
sense.
It was like, there's no one in here. How are you embarrassed? You're embarrassed that you're
teenagers.
It was great. Pizza Rizzo's continues to be the most underappreciated air conditioning and okayest food. Is that a good definition?
Nope, I just stopped right there. I tuned out. I turned the podcast off.
Oh, jeez.
There you go.
All right, well, ask me a question then, Derek.
Well, you kind of went over everything with Hollywood Studios for the day. It is great to know that it's an hour ahead of time and how much you were able to get done. But what did you do? I know you went over to Magic Kingdom that evening.
Yes, we did.
And your kids, they've seen Enchantment?
No, they have not.
Oh, okay. I thought they did once, but never mind.
Oh, they did. Yes, they saw it from the dessert party angle.
Yeah.
Shell really wanted to see it up close from the front of like the hub on a railing. So we went to the Magic Kingdom. We drove instead of taking the bus so that we could park.
Who drove, by the way?
I drove.
Okay. Just got a little sick thinking about it, but go on.
Yeah, I swerved a few times just for you. So the trams are back, Derek.
I know. I saw that. By the way, who called it? Who?
You did.
I was right.
Said it by
yep.
Christmas.
Congrats to me.
There they are. It reminded me how much I don't like parking trams really quickly, but
they amaze me. It's like a giant game of Snake.
We got lucky on where we parked. Like we were like the second car to get sent all the way one direction. And every time that happens, you're like, no, because it made us further from the tram.
Yep.
But it actually put us really close to walking one direction. So at the end of the night, when the line for the tram was like 10 trams deep, we just walked back to our car and was 1,000 times faster than taking the tram. But there's some places in that Magic Kingdom parking lot that, dear Lord, you need that tram.
I don't even know how you walk. I don't even know how you tram. If you need trams, it'd be like 10 minutes. Yep.
So we took the tram. We did eat at Columbia Harbor House.
What if they had like a food court or something in the parking lot? There are times. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Tram just stops by. That's how they make extra money. Anyway, go on.
Nothing like a little exhaust and food together.
Exactly.
At the end our tram person on the microphone, it was like she told a lot of bad jokes. I was unaware it was like the Jungle Cruise.
They're trying new things, I guess. They're back, Doug. Just be happy about that.
They had a ribbon cutting for trams. It's like they're not new. No. It's just you finally decided to pay people to drive them.
500 days later.
You got unlazy, Disney. Congratulations. We ate at Columbia Harbor House. Michelle's still protesting because there's no chicken pot pie. So all she did was get a side of rice.
Ew.
I don't understand. She's very angry, but the kids are very excited to be at
I'm going to Costco tomorrow, so I'll grab a chicken for her.
Okay. You do that. Yeah, we did like a Winnie the Pooh lightning lane, something else, and then we went and got a spot on Hub hour and a half beforehand. And it was not as good a spot as Michelle wanted. So we needed to be earlier. We shouldn't have gone on Pooh. We should have just went and got a spot in the
You've been on Pooh 1,000 times, and yet you go on Pooh again sometimes.
You do it just
do it to do it.
You never know when's going to be your last time.
That's true. Good point.
So we sat there and sat there and sat there and sat there some more, and then the fireworks happened. And from that vantage point, which was significantly closer than we've seen it, the first song, the theme song, if you will, the castle animation has shadows of characters that match the lyrics. I hadn't noticed that before because they're on the lower portion. So that was really good to see. Yeah, that was it. So it's definitely better when you can see all the projections.
Okay.
It's growing on me, Derek.
I need to see it again.
It's definitely, this is fourth time, and it's each time I like it a little bit more. My favorite part is still Into the Unknown. Yeah, it's growing.
I'll see it again in a few weeks. I will take it with what it is. Your kids like it, though?
Yeah. They're like, yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
They weren't that attached to Happily Ever After, so they're fine.
Okay. Well, the next morning you actually did rope drop at Magic Kingdom with the full hour. So how did that go?
Well, we took a bus, so that was fun. And on the bus, just started moving at 7 a.m. So we were using bus Wi-Fi to make our lightning lanes. So we got a Jungle Cruise again, as one would. And then we got there. So on the bus, there was a family kind of surrounding us in the seats. We were standing, and it was an extended family. And they had like 4 different My Disney Experience accounts. And I realized at 7 a.m. they were not linked together.
Oh, no.
Because they're like, what time does it say for Space Mountain? What time is like trying to get all the Space Mountains at the same time? Well, it's not like the old Fast Pass where you get to pick the time. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I was stressed.
For them.
Just listening. It was like, and they were definitely Disney veterans because like one of the girls that was like Claire's age that was sitting there had on a lanyard with some dated pens that were a few years old. So yeah, it was link your accounts.
Yeah.
Or just use one account for everybody.
Even better. Like
if you're only going to travel together, just use one account. Don't have different ones. So they did get it to where they all overlapped with a 10-minute window where they could go.
I'm impressed with that.
Impressed.
Yeah.
And then they made their parents A Small World for like 11.
Makes sense.
Because they weren't going to go on Space Mountain. And then we're standing at Rope Drop for Space Mountain. There's a family directly behind me. And there's a 12-year-old boy that's wants to go on Space Mountain, but his dad doesn't want to. So they're going to rope drop Buzz. And the kid's like, we have to do it now. Like, the mom's like, I'll go on Space Mountain with you later. He's like, later we're going to wait an hour to 2 hours. I mean, it's Christmas crowds. The crowds were there. There's no joke, right? It's Christmas time. And this kid's like, no, if we do that, we're going to wait forever. And so they argue for the 30 minutes we stand there. The kid is spot on. He keeps spouting off now because mom's like, we'll get a lightning lane when
Wouldn't
we
it
can
great
get
if he
next
said,
lightning
Doug
lane.
and Derek on Rope Drop Radio said.
That would have been, that was the only thing it was missing. So they had made a lightning lane for Thunder or Splash for later, which isn't horrible, right? But you can grab those throughout the day. So the mom's like, we can just get a lightning lane for it. And he's like watching, well, now it's not till 4. Now it's not till 6. Now it's because this is also the first day that Space Mountain was not a lightning lane you paid for. So first time ever, it's not a paid lightning lane. And not many people were buying it as a paid lightning lane. That was very undersold.
Yep.
So it makes sense that it became a regular one. Little tweaking. Disney's going to keep tweaking.
They are.
In the time we stood there, Space Mountain disappeared. You could no longer get it as a lightning lane. He's like, I told you 15 minutes ago, it's going to disappear.
I like this guy.
Oh, I wanted so badly to turn around and be like, you need to just listen to him. He's right. He's 100% right. Look, and at one point, he's like, I'll just go by myself. And I want to say, like, he can just ride with my family. I can show you the way to Buzz. It'll work out. Oh, my gosh. So they ended up, the crowd carried them to Space Mountain because they were right behind Michelle. I snuck over to Buzz with a bunch of strollers. But they just ended up at Space Mountain, and they're like, well, I guess we'll go.
Okay.
Thank goodness for the flow of the crowd.
Job.
The poor kid. So people out there, if you're listening and your parents don't, tell them Doug and Derek said
there you go.
To listen to the kids. Sometimes the kids know better than the parents.
I had a time with my parents when I was a kid that I remember having this conversation with my dad, and he didn't listen, and we did not ride what I wanted to ride.
Could you imagine, though, that kid, like, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon having to stand in line for Space Mountain when he's the whole time? I mean, he's 12. He would have been so obnoxious to stand with. Like, see, I told you. We should have went right away. That's one reason to listen to your tweens. Yeah, and the reason I know he's 12 is because at one point the mom's like, you're 12. We're the adults. We're going to, like...
Back in my day, you could go to Magic Kingdom day of and ride every ride 9 times.
Yep, with our e-tickets. So, yeah, listen to your kids. Sometimes they know what they're doing. So it was a long 30 minutes for me. I did not say anything. Michelle was so proud.
Well, speaking of one, I'm proud too. Speaking of your kids, what did they enjoy at Magic Kingdom?
The milkshakes at the Plaza. That was a good highlight. I think we had a good Jungle Cruise skipper that day. So we had 2 very different Jungle Cruise skippers. The first one we have told like the jokes very slowly, like a slow talker. Good timing, but slow. Then the next one, I don't know that he stopped talking.
Oh, I had one of those last time. It was amazing. It was my favorite.
And like, there's times where like you can do too much, right? But this guy,
it was great. I love when they do too much. They're not my new favorite.
So we had 2 very different styles, both good. One of them, if you listen to our cruise trip report with the I'm with Jim shirts and how Jim was kind of the life of the party, we did have one of our Jungle Cruise where there was a huge VIP tour that got one whole side of the vote, and I'm with Jim type of guy. Yep. He was hamming it up. We're not sure if he actually thought the jokes were funny or not, but he was entertaining. So yeah, Magic Kingdom was good. We did all the things. Ate lunch at Plaza. Plaza is nothing gourmet. It is a cheaper sit down restaurant.
Yep. You can get alcohol. There you go.
That's basically what it looked like when looking around the room. Was like people are like, I need a drink. We're
When
gonna
we
eat at the
went,
Plaza.
I think we all got drinks.
I got a Diet Coke, but
You're the only one.
I'm special.
So, all right. Well, how did you close out the trip?
Went to Hollywood Studios as one does. We rode the Skyliner over. It kind of was misting, a little sprinkly, like a Seattle rain.
Okay.
But we did Toy Story. We got that hammered out, and I scored like a 250 something. So I might have been my personal high, 253.
Wow.
Might have been it.
A
Yeah.
little bit better than mine, but okay.
And then they went on Rockin' and Tower. Then we did Mickey and Minnie's with the Lightning Lane. We used another Lightning Lane for something. But had a good evening. Did a little shopping and walked right on the Skyliner, right at park close. And went back to Art of Animation.
It's so
And
nice. That thing, especially with that resort, the Skyliner, phenomenal.
it's so weird how the line isn't bad. There's not really something holding everybody in that park till the end of the night. So the last 2 hours of operation are fantastic.
Oh, they are.
And then you throw in that rain, and it just really thinned it out. They're doing the movie Magic Show,
I saw that.
but let's be honest, it's just a glorified trailer
It was nothing
projected on a
exciting.
building. What it was originally was pre-firework entertainment.
Yep.
That it was perfect for.
And every now and then they used to show kind of a trailer for a new movie or a movie that
They
just
mixed-
came out.
Yeah, they mixed it in.
Like if they were
updated
doing that, if they
regularly.
were like, "Hey, we got a Book of Boba Fett trailer that no one else has,
Only way to see it.
except here," they're done. You're packed out. Like, hey, Mandalorian season 3, 6 months in advance. This is where you see the trailer. Like that's
Yeah.
what Disney needs to do, and that's what bugged me. I'm like, I don't need to see 101 Dalmatians, the cartoon version trailer. I want to see something new, exciting. Give me new Guardians. Like that. If someone from Imagineering is listening, that is what I need, and you would make your money back in no time.
And it was designed to be filler while you wait for the fireworks.
Yep.
And that's still all it is. So there you go.
All right.
That's how we and our flight left on time. Got
Yay!
5 minutes late. We got home on time. Frontier got us home.
There you go. So not there, but got you back. How's MCO, by the way, with the crazy crowds that's been?
Not too bad at 5:40 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love all of our listeners who've been talking to us and tagging us on social media with the MCO inconsistencies, we'll say.
Yeah. And also the MCO carpet.
It's beautiful. And they almost always reply.
Yeah.
Hit them up on Twitter. It's great. So I'm glad you had a good time. Your kids had a good time. It was a little winter break, a little pre-Christmas time for you guys. So overall, sound like you had a good trip.
It was. It was good family time, little bonding in the midst of all the activities, the hustle and bustle, to kind of refocus. And now we're ready for Christmas.
There you go. All right. Well, if you are driving and listening to this, it is the Christmas holiday. So thank you so much for letting Doug and I be a part of your family. Maybe you're trying to get away from your family and you're listening to the show. That could be it, Doug. Maybe. Yeah. You never know. So, or you're listening to this like 2 years later and you have no idea what's going on. But yes, it is Christmas time. So thank you so much to all of our listeners, all of our Patreons, all of our friends this whole last year. Thank you so much for making us a part of your week. And thank you so much. And Doug, I'm glad you had a good trip. But that trip would not have been made possible without your special half who did literally all the booking, all the planning, all the things, and does all of it for me as well, who's booked all of my trips, and that is the Rope Drop Queen, Michelle McKnight. Her email's in the show notes. She would love to make you a trip here in 2022.
That's right. So book it now.
Book it now, because it's getting a little ridiculous, Doug. Though, big news today, we have a new resort finally opening up after spring break.
A new old resort, All-Star Sports, coming back March 31st.
Why after spring break? No one knows.
In time for Easter, though.
Okay.
I don't know.
Still don't understand. But anyway, it's coming back. More opportunities for you guys to get down to Walt Disney World or Disneyland or Disney Cruise. Hit up Michelle and be sure to follow us on all the things at Rope Drop Radio. And please, please, please leave a review because we want to start the new year off with at least reading a review. So if you're listening to this right now and you haven't done it, click that 5 stars. We'll read your name and something online. But we have to get to the Patreon show. We got a couple coming out this week. One on the Spider-Man review. So if you want to hear more about that, click that link in the show notes as well. But for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.